both.
Yeah.
So thank you so much to the Chamber, and thank you, Hugo, for your invitation to come here, and for everybody for making the time. We're 69 days away from the election. I had to think for a second. 69 days. And it's been an amazing 552 days, I think, in my campaign so far, up until this point. And I really, first of all, I'm very glad to be here at El Casario, which, when the Los Angeles Times asked me my favorite restaurant in Los Angeles, it was here. So this is a great example of a business that started as a small restaurant in a strip mall, and is still there, 2 blocks away. You always have to say which El Casario to go to. And now has just blossomed. I mean, you see this space was an empty, dead space before they came in, and it has just transformed into this oasis. And I think it's a great metaphor for Los Angeles of what is waiting to be unlocked and unleashed and unbridled. To see these places and these ideas and these dreams that we have, whether we come from Los Angeles like I do, or whether we come from another state, or whether we come from another country. We have those dreams and those ideas of what we want to see in our neighborhoods, and this is a great incarnation of it. I'm also really pleased to make contact with the Chamber and continue this. Anna, my Chief of Staff, went out and saw your business center, which is very similar to an initiative that I've been pursuing in City Hall, business source centers, which would be one-stop shops for everything that you need, whether it's technical assistance, access to capital, workforce training, permit assistance in one place. And you've done it in your own capacity, just in a nonprofit. And I'm really inspired to see that same model happening in parallel to what I want to do as mayor. That we should have no area of town without a place that everybody knows that has a dream of starting a small business, or maybe growing a small business into a medium-sized business, that they can go there and get help. Now let me give you the diagnosis. Well, before that, I should also say I'm here as the result of a Hispanic business owner, mi abuelo, Salvador, who came here from Mexico, from Hidalgo del Parral, un pueblo en el norte de Mexico, en el estado de Chihuahua. And he came here, didn't finish the 8th grade, but he and my grandmother both worked very hard. Him as a barber after he got his citizenship, as a result of fighting in World War II as a volunteer. And my grandmother, who was one of 19 children, to the same 2 parents. Yeah, I was going to say that the Pope would be very, very pleased to know what a great Catholic family they were. But her parents were from Mexico, and she was born in Arizona and then moved here during the Depression. And she was a meat packer who, worked that early morning shift from 4 to 12, and then came home to make dinner for the family. 2 jobs that so many women have in their families and in their daily lives in that generation. But they saved their pennies, and they started a small business, which was a barbershop that my grandfather owned right near USC, around the corner from USC at Washington and Vermont. It's kind of Pico Union now, Pico Union, South LA. And they had a lot of customers from the neighborhood, but many of them included, over time, professors from USC who would come there to get their hair cut. And as a result of that, my father and his sister used to play in the barber shop, and when I was growing up, I used to go there as a little boy and help sweep up the hair and everything. They learned about college from these professors. And so my father was the first to graduate from college in his family here into scholarship to attend USC. And then my first job when I returned from my graduate studies was teaching at USC. So you see, the dreams that we plant with a small business result in each generation moving one step forward, paso a paso. Tenemos el progreso para todos. And we, look at that story. My own family, my grandfather started a small business and grew it into a medium to even large-sized business, manufacturing men's clothes. And we know that that is the route to the middle class. That is the route to prosperity, and that's the route really to neighborhood revitalization. Whether somebody owns a business or not, everybody in a neighborhood wants to see prospering businesses, wants to see main streets that work again. And that's really been the vision that I've brought in as a council member and that I want to bring as mayor. That small town feel in a big city. Small town feel when you come to City Hall, that you know the faces, that you have relationships with the people, that they can assist you, and that they're there to help. But also that small town feel in a neighborhood, that people who live there and work there want to stay there, to spend their money there, to go out to eat there, to find the services that they need for their family right there. Instead of the old model in Los Angeles, which was one neighborhood to eat, one neighborhood to work, one neighborhood to live, one neighborhood to shop, one neighborhood to find the services you need. And it's no wonder we have the traffic that we do, because many times we ignored that main street in a neighborhood that helps revitalize the entire area. And we've started that, and I had great success in that. My district is #1 in job growth, even in the midst of a recession. The Chamber of Commerce said last year we were #1 in job growth, but also #1 in new business receipts. So business activity was #1. And this isn't a wealthy district. It's a very working class district. It's a good cross section of Los Angeles. There's some people who are well off that live in a couple of the hills here, but by and large the average income is about $30,000 per person. So it's right there in below the average actually in the city. And it shows that you can bring prosperity to a neighborhood and still keep the diversity. And this neighborhood also, as you all know, has people from every corner of the world and the city. Over 200 languages are spoken in Los Angeles, over 144 countries of origin. And this is a great Ecuadorian city. This is a great Guatemalan city. This is, of course, one of the most famous Mexican cities anywhere in the world. In fact, it's the second largest Mexican city in the world. Mexico City is 1, LA is #2. You go back to Mexico for #3. So when we start to think of ourselves that the local is global and that the global is local, I think we have a pathway for the prosperity for all of us, our families and our neighborhoods, and for the city. So how do we do this? Well, there's 2 or 3 things I want to throw out to you. A business needs help from the city to literally establish itself. It needs access to capital to get moving. And it needs a workforce, trained people who are good, to help sustain it. Those are the three main things. So, you need to incorporate, you need to have capital, and you need to have workforce. And then maybe as a fourth, you need the assistance to grow after that, whether that's more access to capital or the advice, the mentorship, the technical expertise to see how you go from small to medium, from medium to big. Thank you. And please start it really, please don't.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Thank you.
I can talk for a while.
We can start. No, you can go on.
So,
Thank you.
and then I'll open up some questions, but let me go through each one of those. First, we've been so impressed to see at your center, just like an initiative that I had. Oh yeah, should we smell the blessing?
Yes.
Would somebody like to?
It's okay. You can continue. Yeah.
Go ahead. Give us a blessing. Go ahead.
Okay. Dios todo